I don't know what it is, but so many days I look up in the sky and I see them chemtrailing. Um, it's kind of hard for me to show you because it's kind of blocked by trees and houses right now. And I've shown you before on this channel videos of chemtrails. Uh, I'm not going to explain them. You can Google them. I've done enough on this subject. But I just wanted to indicate once again another day of chemtrailing going on. And anyway. Now, next subject is going to be no, not Little by Little, who's someone who writes. And when Little by Little writes his monologues, he starts off by saying, "Little by little, Bob's in the middle." Then he'll do another line, and every time he writes a line, he starts off by "little by little." And the man is absolutely amazing because he can go for, let's say, 8 hours without taking a breather even to get a cup of coffee and do continuously little by little something, 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 something. I wish I had recorded it, but it's not available to me now. Okay, the next thing that I might want to talk about is emergency response units, sirens. Well, I remember the TV show Emergency. It was on in the probably early 1970s. And it was one of my favorite shows. I loved Emergency when I was about 6 years old. It was just so exciting, so wonderful to see the firemen going to the rescue. And, they had kind of witty banter amongst themselves. And it was, a partnership story because, it was about the two paramedics. And one was a single guy and the other guy was a married guy. And, it was just a very interesting buddy show. And, they were doing good work. And, there was other interesting side characters, some of the doctors at the hospital, the head nurse. Anyway, that's Emergency. I remember watching Adam 12, which was a cop show, the same kind of thing. Two cops, one a much older man and the other one a young rookie. And, once again, it wasn't even so much about them coming to the rescue. It was kind of more comedy, Adam 12. Because, I remember one episode where they were called. I don't think they didn't have 911 in those days, in the early 1970s. So if you wanted to phone the police, you had to dial the number. In Hollywood movies of the day, they always used 555, and then they'd use another number. But 555, I don't know if that's really a Los Angeles exchange, but in the movies it was always 555, and then, 1, 2, 3, 4. But anyway, somebody called the police department, send over a car. So the two cops came to the house, and they didn't know what the nature of the emergency was. So they knocked on the door. No one answered. So they went in, kind of on alert. I don't know if they pulled their guns, but they were definitely on alert. And they wandered around the house, and no one was there. And then finally they heard a woman's voice saying, "In here, in here." And they followed the voice, and lo and behold, it was the bathroom. And the lady was in the bathtub. And there was water and all kinds of bubble bath in the water. And the lady had got her big toe stuck in the water faucet of the bathtub. So very embarrassing for the two men to have to try and extricate the woman's big toe out of the water faucet for the tub while she was naked in the tub covered in bubbles. So it was clearly comedy because, the logic of it is, how on earth would a woman in the bathtub manage to call the police station They never had cell phones in those days, and in those days, landlines weren't normally put, an extension into the bathroom, especially reachable by a bathtub. Anyway, it was very funny, and this was the kind of thing that you would see a lot of in Adam 12. Uh, what other topics were I going to talk about? Mm, I think I'm going to leave it short one at that. Thank you. I'm going to be. Um, it's always a bit of a. I have to wait to see what names they're going to give me. It's like you got to wait for your mind to come up with a name. And they were going to give me some names, but they've changed their minds. I always say they because I always think there's little machine elves in my mind whose job it is to decide what it is that they want to give me to talk about. And sometimes the machine elves will kind of not be sure and they'll say kind of to me, do you want to talk about this? Or they give me a name, and if I don't like it, I'll just shake them off. Like a pitcher in a baseball game, he looks at the catcher, and the catcher is supposed to call what ball is to be thrown for the batter. And it's the catcher's job to make the suggestions, but the pitcher, in the end, has to decide whether he wants what the catcher has called for. And if he doesn't like it, then he goes like this, like shakes it off. No, I don't want that one. And then if you see the catcher, he makes like some finger signals, usually between his legs, under his balls or something, you know. And these signals are a signal it's going to be a slider or a fastball or what have you. Anyway, that's signaling, and I'm completely off topic and off on a tangent. But anyway, I was trying to give you a name for what character is giving me the talk, and this is truly a Harry Weaver kind of talk. So I'm once again Harry Weaver, the narrator who can blab on and on and on about any topic you want. The Loquacious Uncle.